Welcome back everyone, I'm Craven and this is AI the Somnium Files. It's been a while, it really has. Because of certain choices we made, we put the series on hold for a little while, and today we are going to continue this and be back with regular episodes until the end of this game. But because it has of course been a while, there are certain things that I need to relearn, reinvestigate. So the first thing I want to do is look at our menu, see in our flowchart, where are we? We've already had a couple of lines already completely done, which of course is basically the red one and the yellow one, all the way up to the ending. Right now we are in this tree, and last time we basically witnessed the murder of Ota and Iris. And that's what we are investigating right now. So, I think the best way to continue this is to go on ahead and try to relearn, imagine what we've done so far and get that memories back into our head so we can start theorizing again. So, if I make some mistakes and you are watching this recently after uploads, please feel free to correct me. The sooner I will be back up to speed and we can continue this journey of AI the Somnium Files. But for now, let's continue on. We were here with Mizuki, so let's see if we want next. Okay, so we have 3 locations left. I'm going to go to basically Sagan Residence, Cold Storage, Mitsuda Diner. I think these two were for their involvement based upon what we've learned in Marvel, that the diner was involved, including of course Iris. You know what, I think Cold Storage Warehouse might be a better one to start off with, because I think the other two might give us some extra information. So yeah. Cold Storage Warehouse. I stepped into the cold storage warehouse. The air conditioning wasn't running, but it was still cold. The temperature hadn't risen at all. The cold air sucked into my skin, but the center of my body was burning hot. Okay, so let's have a look around, see if there's any new information from the items we can click, and then we can talk to both officers here.
This forklift is old. It does not appear to be functional. It has not been moved in some time.
A forklift. The tire and floor are covered with a layer of ice. Iris and Ota were sliced in two by this ice cutting machine. Iris and Ota.
Iris's estimated time of death and cause of death have been confirmed. The video was not a recording. It was a live stream, filmed in real time.
Which means Iris's time of death is 3:20 a.m.
Yeah, compared to the other storylines we've done, that one was pretty brutal, so yeah.
Iris also had her left eye removed.
Yeah.
And like Renju and Shoko, Iris's left eyeball has not been recovered.
Yeah, so it's a collector. An ice cutting machine. Alright, workbench.
Right here. Iris and Ota were.
I am sure you are already aware of Ota's time of death.
Just before I arrived. About 3:30 in the morning.
And the cause of death.
Right, about that. Ota had a stab wound from a kitchen knife in his side.
Correct.
What was the exact cause of death? Was it the knife wound or...
I cannot determine that. I can conclude that the knife wound was at least close to being fatal. Even if Ota was still alive on the workbench, he was certainly on the verge of death. If he weren't already extremely weak, we would expect to see more signs of struggle.
Okay, so basically the kitchen knife was probably like a finishing blow. Maybe Ota was trying to help Iris, jumping at the criminal. That led to a scuffle and Ota ended up with a knife in his side. He lost all his power to fight back. He was forcibly put inside the costume, then finally cut open by the ice cutting machine.
But why? Why did the culprit put the costume on Ota?
Unknown.
To confuse, maybe? I also know that bodies are under autopsy. Their bodies aren't here anymore. Iris and Ota's blood.
A video camera and laptop. This is what the criminal used to stream. All of these items have been bought from pawn shops and thrift stores. It would be difficult to determine a suspect from them.
Which of course gives way to predetermination, because they made the choice to get it from pawn shops, which is of course very smart.
I have logged into the Wi-Fi in this warehouse. Okiura Fishery Co., Ltd. is listed as the owner. However, I found the password written directly on the router. Anyone who saw it could have used it. I have done some research. As the name suggests, the company is owned by the Okiuras. The same Okiuras we know. Renju's father created the company.
Another connection to Renju.
No, actually. Currently, Okiura Fishery has nothing to do with Renju. The company has been managed by office representatives for the past 17 years after Renju's father died. Renju holds no shares and is not involved in the management. In short, Renju did not inherit the company from his father, and it was instead given to other persons.
But it can't be a coincidence.
No, I think this is a choice of the killer in order to do it in a place that would lead us pointing fingers at Renju's direction. But why? In this situation, we'll have to find out.
It certainly is suspicious. Date, we should get moving. Officers from the local jurisdiction are checking the warehouse thoroughly. We will not find anything of importance here.
Yeah, you're right.
You can ask CSI to inform you if they find anything.
Alright.
Will do. A video camera and laptop used for the stream. Well, I do want to check everything else as well, just for little tidbits that might give us some extra information and stuff like that. An oil drum, unlikely to be a clue. Look, a police officer. Any progress on the investigation?
I checked this place point by point, but didn't find nothing.
I'm heading out. Let me know if there's anything. I let them know, then left the warehouse. No! I wanted to check some more. When I left the warehouse, I saw Pewter. What is he doing here? He walked up to me while I was trying to work it out.
Date, I have to talk to you about something.
Huh?
About the original Cyclops serial killings.
Why this all of a sudden?
Because I want you to solve this case, Mr. Date. I want you to find who did this and bring them to justice. So, if I can help you, even a little.
Why didn't you say anything at Abyss?
The boss was there. I couldn't speak openly in front of her. So, I decided to meet you here.
Alright. Let's hear it.
Earlier, I told you that I was completely certain the original Cyclops killer couldn't have committed these crimes. I am absolutely certain the original Cyclops killer could not have committed these crimes. Let me explain why. I'll start by telling you the identity of the Cyclops killer. Although, it's more accurate to say, killers.
More than one?
In the first series of killings, the culprit had an accomplice. One of them was born a murderous psychopath. The other is Rohan Kumakura, the previous chairman of the Kumakuras.
Ooh, interesting. I did thought he was looked a little bit shady.
They each had a role to play. The murderer committed the homicide, and Rohan removed the eyeball.
Alright, very interesting. Let's first look at our surroundings and then talk to Pewter. Yeah, that's a lesson I just learned to do once again. Stacked containers. A wooden box. The water of Tokyo Bay. A crane. There's an oil drum. And of course, like always, during the more serious scenes, you get less interactions with the objects surrounding the characters which you look at, but I still want to have a look. You never know what you're gonna get. Wait, can I? Yes, of course. A hologram barrier. A warehouse? All in a line. Ogiura Fishery Cold Storage Warehouse. Alright, let's check with the officers. A police officer. Another police officer. Okay. Now it's your turn, Pewter. Pewter looks grimly serious. About Rohan, who's the murder psychopath? Why did the psychopath case get classified? No. I think because the get classified is probably something to do with me. So that might be important to moving on the case. So I want to go ask about Rohan first, murder psychopath, and then classified.
18 years ago, Rohan took a woman's eye. She was already dead. He put his finger into her eye socket and gouged it out. The reason why was simple. He was fascinated by women's eyes. Their beauty stimulated his greed and his desire to possess them. He needed to have them, to make them his own. Driven by this instinctive impulse, he took the woman's eye. From then on, he acquired a grotesque obsession with the eyes of dead women. He was very particular about his need that the eye belonged to a deceased woman. But even being the head of a Yakuza gang, there weren't too many opportunities for him to indulge. His deepest, darkest desire went unfulfilled for years. However, he soon met his ideal partner, the aforementioned psychopath. The Cyclops killer would commit the murder, and Rohan would take the eye. Thus, a mutually beneficial relationship was established. This was the origin of the Cyclops serial killings. At about the same time, you were assigned to Abyss.
Okay, so still, no confirmation that we are the killer. I know that I have said that multiple times, that there's always a chance that we were the old Cyclops killer, because our memories started after the old case was stopped. So why? Are we a cop that was injured during the entire thing? Is that the reason why my eye got removed? I don't know. I'm pretty sure with one of these branching paths we're definitely gonna find it out. So, who is the murderous psychopath?
He was born with a brain dysfunction. Due to damage to the posterior pituitary gland, he was unable to properly secrete oxytocin.
Oxytocin is a peptide hormone linked to feelings of love, affection, and trust. It is colloquially referred to as the love hormone. It causes a tranquilizing effect which improves mood and relieves stress. It is normally secreted when the body makes contact with an object of affection, such as an embrace or caress.
I'm sure you know what this implies, but he was unable to feel love in the way that we do. However, he was able to experience a substitute. His brain was wired in such a way that allowed him to feel satisfaction through other means. Due to the unique idiosyncrasies of his brain, he was able to release large amounts of dopamine and endorphins by performing a certain action.
Do I want to know what that action is?
What was it?
Murder.
Ah, okay. I was thinking about something more relieving than that. Murder is a good one, especially when it's a psychopath.
Dopamine is a hormone linked to the reward system of the brain. The pleasant feeling attained through accomplishment is dopamine.
Yeah, which I get every time I'll upload another video. It's true, it really is.
Endorphins are a kind of brain narcotic. They dull pain and create a feeling of happiness.
He got pleasure from killing people?
It's slightly more complicated than that. Killing people was the only way he could get pleasure. He was 12 when he took his first life. That enlightened him to the pleasure of murder, which he would do again and again.
Alright, interesting. So, why did the Cyclops case get classified?
That, I don't know.
The details of the original Cyclops serial killings case have become nebulous over time. Even the official investigation material contains nothing of value. I am unable to draw any conclusions from them.
You really have no idea?
If I did, I would tell you.
Okay, so, let's summarize for me.
The original Cyclops killer had an accomplice.
There were 2 Cyclops killers.
So, just like in the old Scream movies, could it be that with the new Cyclops killer, it's also Cyclops killers? Well, it's something to keep in mind at least.
And one of them was the former chairman of the Kumakuras, Rohan Kumakura.
Rohan committed suicide by jumping to his death 1 year ago.
That means... Pewter, tell me this. One of the original killers is dead, I know that. That means one remains. Who is he?
After his 4th murder, he was arrested by the police. They actually picked him up on other charges. But, in any case, he is currently serving a life sentence in Fuchu prison.
Fuchu prison?
Yes.
What's his name?
In prison, he doesn't have a name. He is simply called Number 89.
Number 89.
I know who killed Shogun Adami.
So, now you know why I said that. That the original Cyclops killer couldn't have committed these crimes. Because one is dead, and the other is behind bars. Neither of them had the opportunity.
Alright, so we have all the information we can get from here. Very interesting information at that. So, there's always a possibility that this is someone that the original Cyclops killer had contact while he was in prison. And maybe it's fulfilling for him the killings he needs to feel pleasure. I'm stretching here a bit, of course, but it's something we need to keep in mind when we're theorizing about what happened, who's the killer, where are we going for. So yes, very interesting indeed. And technically it would be a partnership then again with the original killer from prison and the new killer that does the actual killing on the outside. So yes, it does line up again then. Okay, so let's go to the Sagan residence first, because I feel she should know what's going on, and we might be getting some extra information if we go there as well. Sagan residence. When I visited the Sagan's household, I found Hitomi with a hollow look in her eyes. She let me in and asked me to sit on the sofa. I agreed and sat down. But after that, I couldn't say a single word. The heavy silence weighed on both of us. Alright, so let's have a look around. Feel the weight of the situation before we go talk to her. A dining table. Tableware put away. Bookshelf. The lights are off. Is a shoebox. A wooden shelf. There's a calendar and a strange object on the shelf. A clock. A microwave. It's a kitchen counter. There's a door in the back of the room. There's a drawing on the wall. Interesting. You can see the trees and the sky outside. A cushion.
In the language of flowers, the iris means good news and hope. When I saw the flowers this morning, I just knew something good would happen.
Iris.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he feels responsible in some way. The winter iris is blooming. A coffee table. There are some elementary workbooks on the table. Steam is rising from the tea. He told me he's sitting on the sofa. Alright. Let's just get it over with and talk to her. He told me is composed. She's hiding her sorrow deep in her heart. She's gentle, but strong. Alright. I think there's no way to ease this in, so let's just go straight into Iris.
Iris was my everything. We always went everywhere together. Whether it was buying clothes, or going to the movies, or taking a walk, or going shopping at the supermarket. When she was young, she would just hold one of my fingers. Her hand was too small to hold mine. Then it was 2, then 3. And finally she could hold my hand. But eventually, she left my hands altogether. She started crossing her arms, being independent, even though she needed constant attention growing up.
Nice. Alright, let's keep on asking about Iris until we process through the entire thing.
Her memories are a part of this room. And always will be. When she was a baby, she fell off that sofa and cried and cried. One day she tore up her picture book all over the floor here. Another time she drew with crayons all over the window. She painted my portrait on Mother's Day. Scratches on the floor, chipped plates, burn marks on the table, stains on the cushions. Everything you see. It all holds a memory of her. But why?
Okay, so let's ask about Ota before we go straight into the nitty-gritty and ask about any information.
Oda was one of my students. I taught him in elementary school. I heard it from the police. Oda tried to help Iris and ended up... I don't know what to say. I have no words.
There's no need for it. We just needed to know what she knew about Ota. Alright, can you think of any information?
Hitomi, my entire focus is on this case. Is there anything at all you can tell me?
I don't know if this is important, but...
No, please. Tell me.
I may have told you this already. I met Renju's wife Shoko twice before. The first time at the wedding, the second time a month ago. That second time was in the waiting room of the prison.
Prison?
There's an acquaintance of mine from when we were younger.
No. Don't tell me 89.
I visit them a few times a year. And by coincidence, I saw Shoko. I don't think she noticed me, but I recognized her as Renju's wife right away. She was there for the same reason I was, to visit one of the inmates.
Do you know who?
No, I don't. We didn't talk.
Which prison?
Fuchu Prison, in Tokyo.
Of course. The connection is becoming clearer and clearer.
Fuchu.
Prison?
I'm sorry to have bothered you. I'll be going now.
I don't know what to do. thinking about her. Date, please, you have to catch them. Please. Please.
I will. Trust me.
It's very curious that she says them. Is it because she knew about the old killings being done by two people? Or does she know more about this right now that she's saying them? One way to find out is just continue on and learn more about this. So, Abbott's headquarters. It shows clearly now that that is where we need to go to progress the story. But we're going to Matsushita Diner first. I think we still have enough time to do that. So let's go. Matsushita Diner. The place was silent. It was so quiet. I felt like I could hear the floating dust. I stepped inside. I thought it was empty, but I saw a shadow in the corner of my eye. It was Mayumi. It was like watching a decaying old tree cling pathetically to the earth. Alright, let's start as always. A low table. There's a menu on the table. Condiments are placed on the table. A lucky cat statue. Nothing but a window. A beer ad on the wall. A sitting cushion. It says good luck. Menus written on the wall on Tanzaku paper. A swinging door. I can see the kitchen area past the counter. A stool. The counter. It's an autograph, probably from a celebrity. A kid's chair. A table. Disposable chopsticks. Alright, I think that should be about it. It's November, but that calendar says January. Looking closer at it, even the year is wrong. This is old. An old calendar on the wall. The gears have stopped turning on the clock. Yeah, like time stood still after that event from many years ago. She's looking at photographs in her hand. Okay, so I think we should just start the same thing we did with Hitomi. Let's go straight into about Ota. Was to be expected. And as I say, I'm sorry to interrupt. Yeah, she's totally broken. I don't know if we're gonna get anything out of this.
This is your fault. I heard from the police. Because you didn't take care of Iris, my boy Ota got involved.
Date, I looked into the investigation report. Mayumi confirmed Ota's body early this morning.
I see.
I'm sorry. I want to be alone right now. Did you not hear me? I said leave!
Date, let's go. She is in no state to talk.
Yeah, you're right.
Especially when she's basically blaming me for what happened. Which is understandable in the situation. You need to point a finger. And since we do not know who did this, we are a logical choice to be targeted by her. So yes. So let's go to the map. We only have the Abyss headquarters left to go. So let's see what we can find out there. Probably a bit more information about Prisoner 89 maybe? Police headquarters. I returned to boss's office to report. But I didn't see her anywhere.
Where did she go?
Well, she isn't always here, correct?
True.
I sat down in my usual seat and decided to wait for the boss.
What are you doing?
I thought it would be easier to talk like this.
What do we have to talk about?
A summary of the investigation, perhaps?
What summary? We don't have anything new.
That's not true.
Huh?
I was curious, so I did some research about number 89.
Nice, that's good to hear. Okay, so let's look around before we investigate on what do we actually know from this Prisoner 89. It's a Tanuki statue. It's a King Shogu piece. A cabinet. Boss's desk. There are stickers all on the front. She has a computer on her desk, the type that has a monitor built in. A flag with big catch on it. A sober restaurant door curtain. Happy birthday decoration. A pumpkin. A bookshelf. It has a ton of things stuffed into it. A Persian rug is laid out. And a sea car. A police officer mannequin. It's a volleyball. Shelves. A bag hanging on a rack. The entrance. Boss's chair. A matrushka. Alright. Well, it's always a pleasure going into this room because there is so many things to click on. An electronic dart game. A snowboard. A police poster. A boy band poster. It's a floaty. A stationary bike for indoor training. A symbol. A decorated Christmas tree. It has been here since the first time I was in this room. A mysterious mask is displayed on the wall. Another mysterious mask is displayed on the wall. A map on the wall. A public bath door curtain. There's a pendant adorning the wall. And there's a lot of stuff on the coat hanger. A plaster figurine. Is that about it? I think it is. Alright. So I think it's time for us to start compiling Aiba. So let's see what you got. Aiba is sitting on the desk. To be precise, the image of Aiba sitting on the desk is being sent to my brain. Okay, so who is 89? What is his real name? What about 89 and New Cyclops serial killings? And what's the relationship between 89 and Shoko? The real name and who he is, I think those are the two most important things to know. So I'm gonna do up and down first. What's the relationship between?
Unknown. I cannot determine if they have any connection. Approximately 1 month ago, Hitomi Sagan witnessed Shoko in Fuchu Prison's waiting room. I am unable to say for certain that the person she was there to visit was number 89. After all, Fuchu Prison houses 2,000 inmates.
But number 89 knew Shoko's name.
I know who killed Shogun Adami.
That must mean that he knew her somehow.
It is possible.
Well, or he knew of her because of his relation to Renju. Because by the time the killings took place, I think they were still married or something like that, right? So if he knew Renju for whatever reason, with the connection he had with the Kamakuras or anything like that, it's not unthinkable that he knew about Shoko. So, what about 89 and the new Cyclops serial killings?
Pewter claims that there were two culprits behind the original serial killings. One was the former chairman of the Kumakuras, Rohan Kumakura.
But Rohan committed suicide last year.
That leaves one culprit still alive, number 89.
But number 89 couldn't possibly have committed these crimes. He was in jail when each of the murders occurred.
Correct. However, I do not believe it is accurate to claim that he had nothing to do with the incident.
I know who killed Shogun Adami.
If he was telling the truth, his involvement is possible.
Yeah, he could be the inspiration to at least somebody that's in contact with him. So, who is 89?
As you know, he is an assassin with multiple confirmed kills. He is currently serving a sentence at Fuchu Prison. He was imprisoned 6 years ago.
That's what Pewter told us.
After his fourth murder, he was arrested by the police.
Okay, but what is his real name?
Unknown.
You don't know?
No such person is listed in the family registry. It is possible he is a foreigner, but his nationality is unknown. However, I believe it is safe to say that he was born and raised in Japan.
Let's talk to 89.
Let's talk to number 89.
I don't know if he's telling the truth or if he's full of it, but he's our last remaining loose end.
Alright. However, we need not go to him. We can bring him to us. If we plan on syncing with him, it would be more efficient.
Can you arrange that?
I can.
Okay, interesting. So after cutting through some red tape, 89 was to be brought to HQ. He took considerable time to arrive, but for some reason, boss never showed up. Ooh, this is suspicious. If boss didn't show up, could the boss be the killer? Or is she another victim of the new Cyclops killer? Okay, police headquarters.
Sorry to interrupt your busy day.
Alright. You know what? I'm gonna leave it here. This episode, you guys know I love my cliffhangers, and I do believe that this interrogation is gonna be an important one. It's gonna probably take a little while to get through, and maybe we need to piece things together like we have done before in certain puzzle situations, like getting information from different scenes and trying to clam them together for a cohesive story we need to build. So, for now, I'm gonna leave it here. Next episode, we're gonna interact with this guy and see who he is. Is he Hitomi's husband? From all those years ago, from the picture we saw on the wall. Bit presumptuous? Who knows? Like I said, I'm developing my new theories already while playing this game. Oh, can't wait to continue this next time. So, until then, I wish you all a great night, morning, day, wherever you are. Till next time. Bye bye.